Happy Friday to my basics bitches out there. This is Friday No Filter, where we unleash the rant on the basics of health. Each Friday, we tear down the glossy facade and dive headfirst into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to thrive in the chaos of modern health. No frills, no fluff, just straight talk about what matters. It's time to embrace the chaos on your own journey and give a big, bold middle finger to the status quo. Hello and welcome back to another episode. I'm just going to be honest here. It has been a heck of a week at my house. We have lost power, lost internet for almost 2.5 days on and off. It was kind of a wild show. Let me tell you what happens when you need internet to do your job. Everybody's like, technology is so wonderful. Like, is it though? I don't know. But I hope you guys have a good week, have had a good week. I hope you guys, if you were in the Michigan area or in any area, I know Wisconsin actually got hit too, pretty hard. Indiana, Illinois, everywhere kind of around that area is also getting hit pretty hard. Ohio, even at times, same thing. So I hope if you are in the destruction of these storms and you're in the path and in the way, that you guys are safe, you guys are healthy and everything is okay. I know people here in Detroit are still quite a few without power still. So hopefully that will get fixed and done really quick. If you did not listen to Wednesday's podcast was about mistakes that you're making in this process, in the weight loss process. And I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't listened to it, to go back and listen to it. And then at the end of the podcast, I kind of talk about trying to figure out which one you are. Once you figure out which mistake, which one am I? Am I multiple, which is most of the time, most of us are, at least two. I want you to go in and figure out which one would be the easiest thing that you could fix, quote unquote. What would be the easiest thing for you to start making a shift on, right? Maybe you're constantly dieting. Let's maybe not try to be in a diet. So right now, maybe let's just try to eat and start learning our hunger cues and start eating more whole foods with protein, right? Maybe that's what you need to do. Dieting harder. Maybe that part, you should try to, I don't want to say fix, but kind of fix that piece of trying to do more. Start reducing what you're doing, take out what you're doing, remove some of those things that you're doing and do a little bit less, right? The third one, I honestly, I don't even remember, and I don't have any of my stuff. I'm telling you, this has been a hell of a week. Even with my masterclass, it's I'm so focused on what I'm doing there. All my notes are in my bag, and my bag is at my room, so I can't even remember. Wait, I think I wrote it down. Did I write it down? I did. Here it is. Awesome. Dieting for quality of food. That's the one. That's the one that I missed. Quality of food. Making sure that you're eating more quality food. And that, it's not just calories in versus calories out. And it's not just, if it fits, I can eat it. As long as I'm under my calories, I can eat ice cream all day. Yes, these are great things, but they tend to reduce the health benefits of all the micronutrients that you get from whole foods. And so, there's that. But I would encourage you. And then obviously the last thing is help. And maybe help is where you need. Maybe you are the person that needs to stand up and step up and say, hey, I need this. I need to take one step in that direction. I need to take one step forward, right? Here's the cool thing about my masterclass is that anybody can hop into it. Now, it's not going to cost the same, but anybody can hop into it because it's all there. It's all there. It's just hanging out in this space that you can come into anytime. So if you're interested in that masterclass, it's $97 to get in. If you want basics on demand, and that's your first step, you're like, man, I need this. I need some encouragement. I need some guidance. I just need some structure a little bit. That's going to be a great place for you to start learning some master classes, getting into those kinds of things. That is where that would be a phenomenal place to begin. Okay. Basics on demand, BOD. And then obviously if you want a little bit more one-on-one, I have private messaging containers that you can hop into where we talk for 8 hours a day, right? Pretty much whatever you want, we can create, which is a cool thing about what I do. That's what I love about what I do is where's your need? Where are you at? Where do you want to go? Let's figure out if I have something that fills a gap. And if not, I can always create that thing for you. But standing up and stepping up and asking for help is, when we don't do that, is a mistake. I know I spent 33 years wavering on all these things. And it took me a lot longer to get from point A to point B than it should have, or even could have. because I refused to do that. I didn't want help. And then, after starting my own business and doing things like that, I'm like, oh man, it really is nice to have just some accountability, just somebody to kind of keep you, I call them bumpers, like on a bowling alley or a GPS guide where I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I'm just guiding you along. Like these things really do matter during this process. And, even now to have some clients come back and say, oh my gosh, I did all this stuff and I'm still doing the things because you taught me all of this stuff that I know now that I didn't know before. Even yesterday, I posted on my Facebook page, what would be one food that if it were calorie free, what would you want it to be? And I had an old client, a past client, not old, but like a past client come back and say, none of them, because I know I can eat anything I want and it doesn't matter. I was like, yes. So understanding this process you don't have to do this alone. And I'm going to tell you that right now, the majority of you can't. And it's why you are where you're at. It's why you don't move forward. It's why you stay in a cycle of shit. And then you constantly are looking for all the fad diet shit. And then you don't get where you want to go and you wonder why. That's why, because you're not actually raising your hand and saying, I need help. So it's always an option, right? It's always a place to start if that's like, I'm not really sure where to begin because it's overwhelming. Even in my master classes, I'm going over yesterday's talk, which was all about habits and habit stacking and habit unlearning and those kinds of things. If it sounds overwhelming, it's because it is. If it sounds like it's hard, it's because it is. It's not easy. This process isn't easy. It's just not. And there's so much nuance to it and things like that. That's like, you start second guessing yourself and whatnot. I have a client that we're ending our one-on-one container next month. I'm not sure if she'll, hop into my alumni group or anything like that, which is okay if she doesn't. But there's still some second guessing happening with her. There's still some like, oh, I'm not really sure. Like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do after this, or I'm not sure how I'm supposed to go after that. And that starts to get in your head and it will throw you off. It will send you into a spiral because you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Then we start saying really negative, nasty things about ourselves. So the help piece is really important, but pick one of the four you got. Where'd it go? I had it here. Here we go. You got quality of food, dieting forever, dieting harder, and not asking for help. Pick one of those things. Pick one of those things to just start small shift changing, to just smallly go from this to that. It doesn't have to be a big hard left turn. It gets to be a really nice little curve. This is literally what I talked about yesterday in my masterclass for about, 20 minutes, I think almost was the message. And that might, so for some of you be like, oh my gosh, that sounds so much, but it's a lot of good information and it's a lot of relatable shit that I've already experienced and I've already been through. So I understand it and it makes sense when you hear it. You're like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Now I get it. Yes. For the record, you all make sense. So if you have questions on anything, please feel free to reach out. Let me know. Otherwise, I will catch you guys probably on Muscle Monday, providing we don't lose internet this weekend. I will try to get another recording in. But my birthday is Monday. So if I don't get it in by Monday, then it's not happening. But otherwise, I'll catch you on the next episode.